everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today is the 2nd of October and as you can hear from my voice, I am still poorly. Today's Monday. I didn't go to work today. I really wanted to. I had everything planned and ready and then I just was not well enough when I got up, so that was upsetting. But we're going to try again tomorrow. Yeah, so in case you didn't see September's wrap up, I will link in the description. I've had some kind of flu COVID adjacent virus for the last week or so. Felt like absolute trash and I haven't been to work, which is not ideal. But yeah, I am starting to come out of it now. Just still not feeling great. Sorry, you can hear like alarms and the washing machine's going and all of that stuff. Sorry about that. I'm also completely obsessed with wearing these new pajamas that my dad and my stepmom got me for my birthday. I've barely taken them off since I've had them. They're so comfortable. I think that the brand is called Chelsea Piers or something. I'll link them in the description in case you're interested. But yeah, they are very, very, very soft and really thin but still warm. I don't know how that works, but yes, at least I'm comfortable. I don't know if I've actually got the top on backwards. No, I haven't. Yeah, so it's Monday. Molly and I have been hanging out. I'm not sure if you can see her. Actually, you can't because she's so tiny, but she's in the blanket nest just there, and I thought I would come and film a clip because I've got 2 books I finished, one I've DNF'd, one I'm on hauling unread, and I've had a parcel come through, so it's been quite the eventful start to my reading month. Apologies in advance for how I look and sound, but there we go. Right, the first book that I finished was the last book that I was reading for the Vampire Diaries readathon, because we had to read a book. Prompt was a book with a party in it, and I read The Weight of Blood by Tiffany D. Jackson. I didn't count this for the readathon because I didn't finish it till yesterday, which was the 1st of October, which obviously isn't in September. Lovely Chloe sent me this. She saw this on my wish list and was kind enough to include it with my birthday presents. It's an arc that she had because she knew I wanted to read it. And yeah, I really enjoyed this. I gave us 4 stars. It was literally yesterday. I think I gave it 4 stars. I did give it 4 stars. Either 4 or 4.5. And this is a Carrie retelling with the additional theme of race woven in. And that's kind of what I want to say. Is we're in a southern state and they are having their end of year. They're getting ready for their like senior prom, and stuff happens and it's a horror, and I'm probably not going to explain anything very well today because my brain is really mashed. But yeah, I really liked this. I really liked the way that racism was talked about. I liked the way that the kind of secrets and lies were dealt with. I love how it deals with what it's like to suddenly have to make loads of decisions because you're leaving school and what the next steps might be. And I liked the horrific horror type elements in here. I could only give it, I think I gave it 4.5 rather than 4. I couldn't give it the full 5 stars because I didn't have the emotional reaction to it, and I felt like the ending was really rushed, but I did enjoy this. If you haven't read this yet, this is a couple of years old now. This came out in 2022. I don't know why I didn't say 2022. I told you my brain is everywhere. I think a lot of people have read this now, but I definitely want to read more from this author because I really enjoyed the writing style. So yeah, that was a very good start to the month. Then I read None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. My friend Steph included this in her birthday package to me last month. And this was all right. I gave it 3 stars. I think I need to stop reading Lisa Jewell. Well, I don't think I need to stop reading Lisa Jewell. I think I need to stop investing in Lisa Jewell. So like Steph, this is Steph's copy. If somebody wants to lend me a Lisa Jewell, then I'll read it because they're easy enough and they're entertaining, but I'm not going to spend any more money on Lisa Jewell, I don't think. This was okay. This is about 2 women who have the same birthday and they bump into each other in a restaurant when they are both celebrating their birthdays, and one of them is a podcaster and she decides to make a podcast with and about the other woman, and it's about the secrets and lies, and things rapidly go sideways. And yeah, this was a all right book. This was tense and had a couple of twists in it, and it's very dark, but there's a redemption arc for a character in here who does something or has done something in the past that I just don't think is redeemable, and I didn't enjoy that. I also don't think we got enough of an explanation for why a certain character was the way they were and why they were doing things, and the end felt very rushed, which is not something that I enjoy. So yeah, I gave this 3 stars. It was fine. It's nowhere near as good as some of her other work. but I'm starting to think that maybe Lisa George just isn't an author that I click with that well anymore, which is absolutely fine. Still glad I got to read it, and yeah, I'll give this back to Steph. And that was a 3-star for me. Then the DNF, I decided to DNF What a Shame by Abigail Bergstrom. Again, not Charlotte, Chloe sent this to me. She had this arc, she was part of the tandem read-along online, and she thought that I might like it, so she passed it on, which was very kind of her. I read the first 100 pages and I was just a bit bored. We're following, it's millennial fiction, and we're following a woman, I think she's called Matilda, and she's, you know, in her late 20s, early 30s, and it's kind of that like midlife crisis, don't know what I'm doing with myself, her boyfriend's left her dad's just died. And yeah, I was just in my head drawing comparisons with what was the octopus book that I read last month? My brain honestly isn't there right now. But that has a very similar storyline, and I felt like that was done a lot better. I felt a lot more connected to those characters, and I got 100 pages in and I just didn't care. So I decided to DNF that one. Thank you, Chloe, for sending it to me anyway. I'm glad I had the chance to read it. Just didn't turn out to be for me. And then the book that I've decided to take off my shelf, I was looking at my TBR shelves yesterday and I saw this on there and I just thought, you know what, I'm not going to read this book. And that is Margot and Me by Juno Dawson. Charlotte was kind enough to include this in the huge box that she sent for my classroom library, and I saw it in there and I pulled it out to read before I put it into my classroom library, because it's a Juno Dawson book. But having read a couple of Juno Dawson's backlist like fairly recently over the summer, I'm not sure. I read like the first like 10 pages of this and I was a bit like, yeah, I'm not sure if I want to read this. So I'm just going to put that straight off my TBR, straight into my classroom library, and the kids can read it because they are obviously the intended audience. Okay, let's see what's in here. And then I need to go for another lie down because my head hurts. Right, let's see what this is. Whoever this is, thank you so very, very much. Like, we'll see on the note why you've oh, it's a hardback, why you've sent this to me. But gift note first. But you do not have to. I don't expect it. Oh, that was the receipt. Oh no, is there no gift note again? Amazon. Okay, let's see what this is. Well, that's a bit nice, isn't it? This is Sinister Spring by Agatha Christie. I've got Autumn Chills to read over there. Oh my gosh, who sent me this? And there's no gift note. That's upsetting. This is the spring collection of Agatha Christie ones, so I'll obviously read this next year. Sorry, there's another truck outside my house. Let's have a look at the end pages together because they're always so beautiful in this. Is that my favourite one yet? It very might be. Wow. Okay. Well, I'm going to go on Instagram and Twitter and see if I can track down who this was. If somehow I haven't tracked you down, so thank you. By the time this video goes up and this was from you, please let me know so I can thank you properly. But wow, what a treat. These are absolutely beautiful. I've now got the complete set, which makes my completionist heart very happy. Although obviously this will live on my TBR shelf until I read it in the spring. But yeah, that's perked my day up. Thank you so very much, whoever that was. Right, I'm going to go and lay back on the sofa here and probably have a little nap with the cat and cross my fingers that I can get myself back into work tomorrow. It's the 8th of October and I'm coming to you with a slightly chaotic setup this morning. I'm in the spare room. We've got clothes drying here and here. We've got a cat eating his breakfast. That's Jack just there. I've also got Sav up here, so you'll probably see her at some point once she starts shouting. And I haven't actually brushed my hair yet. I probably should have done that before I pressed record. But hey, here we are. It's Sunday morning. You can hear my voice. I'm still ill. Brilliant. yeah, I'm not going to keep going on about it because I'm bored of talking about it, so you guys are probably bored of hearing about it. But it's now day 15 of whatever this is. I have tested for COVID and it's come up negative, but I have literally every single symptom. But I'm testing negative. So I had Monday and Tuesday off work. I went back Wednesday. Should I have gone back? No. Did I feel several points in the day like I was going to pass out? Yes, I did. But there we go. Sometimes in teaching, you just get to a point where you just have to like basically suck it up and go in. That's not advice that I would give to other people, but that's how I felt. Like all of my classes just got to a point where they needed me. I couldn't set any more cover. It was like, I'm just going to have to go in. And it was also like, if I didn't go back in, I was going to get to a point where I would just never catch up. And we have also got Ofsted looming. Like we thought it was going to be last week and it wasn't. So maybe it'd be this week. So I went back in. And I survived. Was I the best teacher I could be? No. But I was there. So that was an improvement on the week before. So yes, I'm still feeling absolutely rubbish. I spent all day yesterday marking papers. Today we've got Charlie this weekend and next weekend because then his mum's taking him away on holiday for October half term. So we've got 2 weekends with him and then 2 without. The boys this morning have gone to play badminton. And I'm supposed to be having a slow day, but I'm not very good at it because I've got quite a list of stuff to do, just chores, and I want to set up my Etsy store because the bookmarks are here. I did want to film, but I'm still coughing a lot, so that's going to have to wait till next week. Sorry, I'm still really itchy. I don't know what that's about. It's not fleas. We've not seen a single flea since the second spray, thankfully, so they seem to have left the building. Yeah, so the boys have gone to play badminton. I was going to go to the sports centre with them and swim, but I just don't feel well enough. Yesterday was also my father-in-law's birthday party and I skipped that as well because again I felt pants and I'm probably over the infectious bit of whatever this is, but I didn't want to take any risks, so I stayed at home and marked papers instead, which was pretty rubbish, although the boys did bring me back a lovely piece of cake. Yeah, so that's the update really. I feel pants and I got stuff to do, but I've got a load of books to talk to you about. I've got 2 that I finished and then 4 that friends have sent me this week. My friends have been very generous with passing on their books this week. So the first book that I finished was an audiobook. So Editing Victoria, you need to remember to put a picture here, please. 4, I'm Thinking of Ending Things by Ian Reid, and it was narrated by Candice Thaxton. I think I've said that right. So a whole bunch of people recommended this as a creepy kind of October-y horror thriller book, and we're following a narrator. I don't actually think we know her name, and she's in a car with her boyfriend and they are going to see his parents, and she is thinking of ending things. She's thinking of ending their relationship, and it's about them driving out to this remote farm where his parents live, having dinner with them, and then something that happens as they drive back. And everyone that I have seen talk about it, pretty much everyone has given it 4 or 5 stars and kept saying, oh, the ending's amazing, it's such a twist, it's really creepy, all that stuff. So I was like, great, perfect thing to read when I'm commuting in the dark, because I leave my house before 7 in the morning and I get back at about 6:30 each night. So when I leave, it's dark, and when I'm coming home, it's starting to get dark. So I was like, great, let's read this. Just got it on Scribd. It was fairly short, like 6 hours, I think. And I gave it 2 stars. So I don't know which book I read. Maybe I read the wrong book because I was bored out of my skull reading this book. I nearly DNF'd it at about 25%, but then I was like, oh, it's short and everyone keeps saying how great the ending is. I saw the ending coming in like the first 10% and was not shocked at all. And just that, yeah, I didn't get it. So that's clearly one that's gone over my head. So that was a 2 out of 5 for me and didn't work. If you guys can recommend me some other, I really want to read something scary this winter. And I have like thrillers to read, but I mean like scary books. So if you can recommend me a scary book that I can read, preferably on audio, because I've always found that to be more effective in terms of the reading experience, please recommend me some. I would love to read them. And then the next book that I finished, the second book that I finished is The Invisible Hour by Alice Hoffman. This cover is absolutely beautiful. It's beautiful. Alice Hoffman's one of my favourite writers. She wrote the Practical Magic series. I was really excited for this to come out. I pre-ordered it. I gave it 3 stars. I was a bit bored. That's been a bit of a theme with my reading this week. I'm just a little bit meh about everything I'm reading. So this is a weird one. It's really short. And we start off, I think it's Ivy is the mother. Yeah, Ivy is the mother, and she finds out that she's pregnant at 16, and her father basically casts her out, and so she runs away and she joins the community, which turns out to be a cult. And she gives birth to her daughter Mia in the community, and Mia is raised in this very harsh environment. And then we jump forward to 16 years to when Mia is 16, and she runs away from the community, and that's where it starts. But there's also this kind of magical realism thing that happens halfway through, and it becomes, instead of being a book about cults, it becomes a historical romance, all kind of around the Scarlet Letter. So it was a bit weird. I really like the setup, and I wish that Alice Hoffman had just written a book about cults and like leaving a community like that. And some of it's beautiful. Her writing is absolutely beautiful. Just where the story went just didn't work for me. And like I said, I was a little bit bored throughout. Like the first 100 pages, I was excited to pick the book up, but after that, it just became a bit of a chore. So for me, it was a 3, and I'm really disappointed because I thought this was going to be 5 stars. A bit lacking in 5-star books lately. I'm hoping the rest of this month will pick up. But yeah, beautiful cover. Beautiful cover. Oh, it's dented. I don't know how that's happened. Sap's probably sat on it. But yeah, for me, this didn't have that spark that some of our other writing has had. So there we go. And then, yeah, like I said, I have had 4 books come in from friends. So the first one to arrive was XX by Angela Chadwick. This came from Amy. I don't know why I forgot. I dropped the name then. Amy from Nonfiction Feminist sent this to me. I'll put the video below where she talks about this and talks about what we're doing, because we're kind of playing, I think she called it telephone. I think that's an American thing. But basically, I read this when it first came out a few years ago. I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago I read this. She read it recently. And she's put her name, the date that she read it, and her general location, so Montana in the US, in the thing, in the front. I'm going to reread it. I've got a project in mind for this for next year. Then I'll put mine in, and I might annotate it as well, and then I'm going to pass it on to the next person, so I'll work out who the next person is going to be. But yeah, I'm going to do a reread project next year, and this will be form part of that. So yeah, I was really excited for this to arrive. It's also a really cool, like, fairly floppy paperback. Yes, and this is about a society in which there is ovum to ovum technology, so 2 women can have a baby without needing a sperm. So yeah, I remember really liking it when I first read it. I'm interested to see, like 3 or 4 years on, when did this come out, how my opinion might have changed. Yeah, 2018. I feel like I read it around about then. I feel like it was right at the start of my channel. So yeah, I'm intrigued to see what I make of it now, or like next year. So that's going to go into my 2024 reading pile. I'm not going to count this on my TBR because it's a reread, so I'm not going to add it to my number, but I will be rereading it next year. And then lovely Charlotte from Books and Bargains sent me some books that she promised me. She sent me some thrillers, so maybe one of these will be scary. She sent me, this was the ARC that she got from Book Break. This came out on the 7th of September, so this is out. This is The Changing Man by Tomi Oimakindi. I need to find out how to say that name. And it says, just because they let you in doesn't mean they'll let you out. And I don't even really need to know. This book will change you whether you like it or not. I don't even really know anything about it. I don't want to know anything about it. It looks scary. I think it's YA horror. So I'm excited to give that a go. Maybe that will be an October read. And then she sent me these 2. She sent me The Silent House and Silent Night by Nell Paston. Both of these I've wanted to read for ages. I think it was Charlotte I originally heard talking about them. Is this a Christmas one? In which we have a deaf protagonist, and it says there's someone in your home but you can't hear them. So I'm really intrigued to read these. So yeah, again, these might be popping up fairly soon because I'm excited about those 3. So that's the update. I look awful, so I apologise for that. Very tired. What's happening this week? This week I'm doing my first school assemblies, which is terrifying. I am introducing myself as the young carer lead for my school and talking about what young carer looks like and what support the school has put in place for our young carers and all that good stuff. So that's terrifying. So Tuesday and Wednesday, I'll be standing up in front of Key Stage 3 and then Key Stage 4 and doing that. I also on Tuesday have to run part of the teacher meeting. We have a teacher meeting on Tuesdays after school. And as part of the safeguarding update, I have to do an update on who our young carers are. So that'll be another like 50 people looking at me. Brilliant. What else is happening? We might also have Ofsted coming. We've got Year 7 information evening happening, and then just the usual round of I'm behind and it's nearly the end of term, so all the kids are doing assessments, so marking is crazy. So yeah, that's what's going on. Rest of today, I've got a bunch of stuff that I would really like to get done. Some stuff I need to do, like meal planning and food shopping and a bit of housework. But I also want to try and get my Etsy store, like the products for the Etsy store photographed. And it be like that put together, so that's ready to go, because next weekend I definitely need to film. And by the time this video goes up, yeah, the announcement video will be up by now, showing you the bookmarks and talking about the readathon and stuff. So I want to get all of that in place. I also need to confirm some co-hosts for the readathon and do a bit of admin on that. I need to set up Discord and all that kind of stuff, so I need to do those. I want to do those things. And I also need to, I'm going to make token hole for lunch for the boys when they get back from badminton. And yeah, just get ready for another week. So yeah, that's the update. I hope you guys are all right. Sorry for whinging so much. Right, I need to stop chatting to you and go and get on with the rest of my day. It's the 15th of October, and yet again I'm coming to you on a Sunday morning where I haven't brushed my hair yet, and the boys are out of badminton, so I do apologise for the state of me. What a week it has been. So yeah, work was mad this week, just completely and utterly mad. We have just completed week 6 of 7, so the kids are completely feral, teachers are exhausted. But I taught my 24 lessons, I did my assemblies, which were terrifying, but I did them, and as a result of those assemblies, I've had 5 more kids come forward and let me know that they are acting as young carers within their households, so that was the whole point. So that was successful. I did a parent meeting, I ran Year 11 revision, I did my 10 tutor sessions, I helped support the PGCE student, I started to get myself mostly ready for the deep dive that we have tomorrow. The departmental deep dive is tomorrow, which means I get observed all day long. What a joy. We managed, just about. And then Friday evening, Molly decided that we needed an emergency trip to the vets very late at night. She's okay now, she's recovering. And I won't get into details because I know some people don't want to hear about it and it's all a bit gross, but to give you an idea, she clearly ate something that did not agree with her. Let's just leave it at that. And yeah, what was really scary was how quickly she went downhill. Like when I got home, she was okay. And then by, like I said, like 10:30 or something, we were at the emergency vets. They were great with her, treated her really quickly. The cost was absolutely exorbitant. It was a £300 fee just to be seen. And we are really lucky that we can scrape that money together. It's not ideal. Like, I basically have had to use a big chunk of the Christmas fund, but at least we had that money there. I don't even know how I would have coped if we hadn't. Like, she probably, well, it would have been a lot worse, let's put it that way. So yeah, that was kind of a scary thing, because last time we had to use the emergency vets, which was about a year ago, 18 months ago, it was a £100 fee. And I know the cost of everything has gone up, but yeah, that was just a like, I'm sorry, what? How much? But yeah, like I said, we are lucky enough to be able to find that money, take her in and get her treated, and she's been recovering up in the spare room yesterday and today. She's much brighter today. she's eating a bit more and using her litter tray and drinking water and stuff today. So she'll probably come out of the spare room this afternoon and back into general circulation because she is looking a lot better. She's also getting impatient to be let out of the room, which is usually a good sign. So yeah, it's just been a fairly stressful 48 hours with that. Charlie's here this weekend. We've had 2 weekends in a row with him because he's off on holiday with his mum next weekend for the half-time break. So it's been nice to have him here. Like I said, they've gone off to play badminton, and I am in the process of getting some housework done and cooking a Sunday roast. Today, the weather today is my perfect weather. It is cold and crisp. It's like 10 degrees and sunny, like barely a cloud in the sky. But I've got so many chores and things to do today. I'm not gonna be able to get out. I was supposed to be marking all weekend. I opened my marking up yesterday and probably burst into tears. So I was like, okay, I need a break from teacher stuff. I'll just do it over half term. So yeah, that's all the stuff that's going on. And then today the video went live, which I'll link in the description, where I tell you guys about the readathon and show you my bookmarks. And I've had so many orders today, so it's another thing I need to sit and do this afternoon, is pack up Etsy orders, which is amazing. Thank you so much if you've ordered bookmarks. Like, I cannot believe the amount of people that have ordered them and paid like actual money. So yeah, thank you for that. Obviously all of the proceeds is going towards our charity this year, which is Book Trust. So, or any money that's made will just go into the charity account for that. So it's all for a really good cause. But yeah, it's really exciting to think that bookmarks with like those designs will go out in the world and people will use them. It's weird. Like, sometimes this is, yeah, it's a weird thing and I love it. So thank you so much. Right, let's talk books, because I have finished 3 books, DNF'd 1 and bought 1. So what can I tell you? Right, let's start with the DNF because that was the first one. I've decided to DNF The Exhibitionist by Charlotte Mendelsohn. This was sent to me by Book Break in exchange for an honest review. It's a finished copy. Gorgeous cover. And I should have loved this book. And I know quite a few of you have commented on videos saying, oh, I'm really excited for you to read that and see what you think. So I am sad to have DNF'd it, but I gave it 100 pages and I just wasn't clicking with it. And like I said, I should like it because this is about a family where the adult children are coming home for the weekend because the father is doing an art exhibition. And it's about the secrets and lies that everyone in the household has. And it was interesting, but I think the problem I had with it was that I hated almost all of the characters. And for me, I have to like a character, at least one character, in order to finish a book. Like, if I just dislike everyone and the decisions they're making, I'm not going to carry on picking it up. It just doesn't appeal to me. So this was the problem with this. And I think the main issue is, like, the father is just such a narcissist and everyone around him is walking on eggshells. And I understand that that happens, unfortunately, to people and to some families. But I just couldn't understand why his wife, predominantly, who is the main point of view in here, would throw her life away for this man when I couldn't see a single thing that he was giving her in return. And yeah, I just didn't want to read like 300-400 pages about this narcissist man and all the lengths that his family go to keep him happy. I would have just left. Like, yeah, and I know it's not always as easy as that, but for me as the reader, I was just really frustrated and I just couldn't get into the story or kind of get on board. So unfortunately that was a DNF for me. I know lots and lots of people have loved this book. It was the Times Novel of the Year. I think it was longlisted for the Women's Prize as well. But for me, I just could not get past that character. Okay, then I finished 3 books this weekend. The first one that I finished was Agatha Christie's Autumn Chills. This is just still such a beautiful book. And I know I've shown this in a couple of videos now, but like, seriously, so pretty. So this will go and join its sisters down here in my new cozy mystery shelf. And this is just Agatha Christie short stories based in and around autumn, and I really enjoyed this. It's got Miss Marple, Hercule Poirot, Tommy and Tuppence, and a couple of others. And yeah, I gave it 4 stars. I felt like it wasn't as obvious which season this was compared. I've read winter and summer, which are down there. I've got spring upstairs because a lovely subscriber sent that to me. I feel like that was earlier in this video. So I've got that ready for like March time. But I felt like the season wasn't as prevalent in this as the others have been. Like, yeah, one of them was like set in like Greece or somewhere in the sunshine, and I was just a bit like, that's not autumnal for me. But anyway, lovely, beautiful edition, and I always enjoy Agatha Christie's writing, and I had a lovely cozy time kind of wandering my way through this quite slowly. It was good to read while I was working because you know, I could just read one story at the end of the day and feel like I'd actually achieved something with my reading. So that was nice. And yeah, this can join my collection. So yeah, 4 stars. Then I picked up a book that you saw me open in the last clip, which is The Silent House by Neil Patterson. This is one of the ones that Charlotte sent me very kindly. Thank you, Charlotte. And I was so intrigued by this, I just picked it up immediately. And we're following Paige, who is an interpreter for deaf people. She is hearing, is the way it's put. But her whole family was deaf growing up, so she obviously learned how to use sign language, and then she's become an interpreter for people. And she gets a call in the middle of the night to say that a child has been murdered in a house, and they need an interpreter because the family is deaf. And that is all I'm going to say, because it goes from there. I enjoyed this. I gave it 3.5 stars. I think it was a really interesting angle to take, and there's a lot of really interesting discussions about being deaf, being part of the deaf community, being part of the deaf community as a hearing person, which the author is as well. I thought the central mystery was interesting. I did figure it out almost straight away. There's a certain character that we met and I was like, it's you. And I was right. And that's not really the book's fault, because I read a lot of these kinds of books and just kind of worked it out. This is a debut, and I think it's quite obvious that it's a debut with the way that some of the writing is done. It does also weave in a romance, which is never my favourite thing in my thriller books. But it kept me hooked. I read like 80% of it on Sunday, and then finished it off this weekend. So I could easily have read it in one go if I'd started it a bit earlier on Sunday, I think. And there's definitely something to say for that, because it was exactly the kind of thing I needed to read at the time. And it was well paced, and like I said, it's got that interesting kind of social commentary and disability commentary. I just think some of the strands of the mystery weren't tied up. There were a couple of things left loose, and we kind of get like the villain's speech towards the end, which again is never my favourite thing. I think it's something that a lot of debut authors do, and I understand why they do it, but it just feels a little bit clunky. However, I've got the next one, which is Silent Night, I think, which I think is set like in and around Christmas. It's got like snowflakes and stuff on the cover, so I'll probably save it for December, but I am looking forward to reading that, and I will definitely pick up more from the author, because I think, yeah, she's definitely an author with a style that I enjoy. So yeah, 3.5 stars, really enjoyed that one. And then this morning I finished Manslaughter Park by Terza Price. I did listen to this on audiobook, it's on Scribed, and I'd really recommend the audiobooks. The audiobook narrator was Morag someone. I will put that in the description. Sorry, I should have written that down so I could tell you about it now, but I'll put it in the video description. I read all 3 of these on audiobook. So it starts with Pride and Premeditation, then there's Sense and Second Degree Murder, and then there's Manslaughter Park. And it's part of the Jane Austen murder mystery series, and I just think these are really fun. They're retellings with added chaos and murder, and kind of updating some of the characters and some of their situations. And in this one we follow Fanny Price, who when she was 10, she was kind of sent to live with her aunt and uncle at Mansfield Park, as the very much like the poor relations. She's treated really badly, and then one day when I think she's about 16 when the story starts, her uncle dies. And it's about what happens, and it kind of goes from there. But what I really liked from this is like the story opens with this, which says, to all the readers who think that Fanny Price deserved better, which I highly agree. I feel like if you've read Mansfield Park, you'll know what that's referencing. And I love what Terza Price did with the character, because Mansfield Park is one of my least favourite of the Austens. I think that Fanny Price is just such a different character from Austen's other heroines, and she's a little bit wet. And I like what Terza Price did with her here, and it did take a while. It was quite slow to get going, but I feel like once things start happening, then the pace picks up. And it's also queer, which I really enjoyed the exploration of that. There is not just one queer character in this, there are a couple of queer characters, and I like the exploration of that and the way that it's kind of explored in keeping with the kind of social expectations of the time. So I thought that was really great, and I just really enjoy this series. I mean, it's, you know, is it the best written thing ever? No, but I do really enjoy them, and I feel like if you're an Austen fan, or if you have an Austen fan and you're looking for something a little bit different, I would recommend these because they are a lot of fun. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. That was 4 stars. Then the book that I bought. So every year Charlotte from Books and Bargains chooses like a fluffy Christmas romance for me, or like a Christmas romance. It doesn't have to be fluffy. We've done it the last couple of years and it's always been quite fun and quite a kind of fun addition to my December reading. So I texted her the other day and I was like, right, what should I read this year? And her immediate answer, like she probably took like 0.2 seconds to respond, was Make You Mine This Christmas by Lizzie Huxley Jones. Charlotte had an arc for this, I think, and I think it's on her favourite books of the year list. And this one says the golden rule of fake dating: don't fall for his sister. So it's fake dating, it's bisexual rep. She said it's a bit like I thought someone was coming to the door then. A bit like the Brown Sister trilogy in that it's kind of cute and fluffy but also steamy. So yeah, I'm intrigued to see what this is like. And it says on the back, she can't possibly fall for her fake boyfriend's sister this Christmas, can she? So yeah, I'm really intrigued. And it also says that the author is autistic. So I'm interested to see if we've got some autism rep in here as well. So yeah, I'm intrigued for that. It's also set in the UK. I feel like a lot of like romance Christmas books are set like in the States. So I'm excited to give this a try. So we'll see what I think. So that was that one. Then the last couple of things I need to talk to you about. I bought myself an autumnal phone case and a pop socket because I am that basic. Let's turn this the right way up. Just a little thing that made me happy this week. And then finally, Ali from Little Drops of Wonderful, which is a YouTube channel that I absolutely adore and would highly recommend. I've spoken about it before and I know a lot of you came to me from her. So thank you so much if you're here. She's got an Etsy store where she sells pins and I've been meaning to do it for ages and finally got my act together this week or last weekend and ordered myself a pin. It came really quickly, but I wanted to open it on camera because it came like parceled up so nicely. So I thought we'd open this together. I'll obviously link her Etsy store in the description. Okay, so it just says, so you get this little thing says, thank you for supporting my little shop. You're a little drop of wonderful. Thank you, Victoria, Ali. So yeah, and she also says packaging is kept to a minimum to reduce waste. Please reuse the envelope. Yes, definitely. Okay, and then, oh, you guys, I've got hiccups now. You got a sticker. So that's exciting, which says you're a little drop of wonderful. And then this is the pin, which is going to go on my lanyard. So can you see my work lanyard? So it says, you are a little drop of wonderful. And it's got that's just such a cute, like fun design on it. And yeah, now I've dropped it, sorry Ali. So yeah, I'm really excited for that, and like I said, I will link it in the description. So right now I need to go and finish my housework, cook, what are words, get the roast on the go. The chicken's already in obviously, but I need to do all the other bits. And then clearly I've got some Etsy orders of my own that need packaging up. It's the 20th of October and it is half term. Finally. As you can hear from my voice, still full of cold. Well, not cold really. I think I might have a chest infection. I feel alright. I just got this horrible cough all the time. My voice sounds like I've been eating gravel. But it is now half term. As usual, I am exhausted. I had my hair done last night, so we are back to the full brunettes. Got the blonde like covered up. I was like, I'm ready to be a full brunette for winter. And I'm really, really happy with this colour. It's like a chocolate brown, I think is what we went for in the end. As usual, my fringe is doing its own thing after a full day of work. Also, the light's not great because it's now about 6ish, I think, so the light is fading fast. But I just wanted to come in and film a clip before half-term holiday starts. I do have one book to talk about, which I'll tell you about in a minute. And then I just wanted to like finish off this week before I get into like half-term stuff, because I feel like there'll be loads of B-roll for next week. Oh gosh, I'm tired. Do you ever just look in the mirror and think, wow? So yes, this week has been completely nuts. So as always, there's just been loads going on at school. I'm still I'm still not 100%. But I did manage to go and get my haircut and collared yesterday, which was a nice bit of self-care. And people are getting their bookmarks. Bookmarks are out in the world. It's very exciting. The video went up on Sunday as I'm talking to you. I've already sold like well over 100 bookmarks, which is wild. I've put the shop just on holiday mode for this coming week because obviously I'm going to be away. I don't need to worry about it, don't want to worry about it, or anything else next week. No worries next week is the theme. But yeah, I've been starting to be like tagged in Instagram stories of people who have had their bookmarks today. And if you ordered and are outside of the UK, they've been dispatched today. I think by the time you see this, you'll have them, and then they'll arrive to your country depending on like the length of time will depend on obviously where in the world you are. But yeah, that's just really exciting to see them like out in the wild. So yeah, that's been going on. That's pretty much it. It's just been work, cats, husband, coughing, work some more. Pretty much it. I've only finished one book this week, and that is because it was the 4-hour audiobook for Lost in the Moment and Found by Shauna Maguire. There will be a picture here of the cover. And like I said, I read it on audiobook, and it's narrated by Jessie Valinsky. Hopefully I've said that correctly. This is book 9 in the Wayward Children series, and we're following Antsy, who runs away from home and finds a door and walks through the door and finds herself in a shop. And that's pretty much all I'll say because it's only a tiny novella. It's a standalone in the Wayward Children series. I personally prefer the ones where we have Eleanor West's home for Wayward Children in it and the kind of group of characters. This one was okay. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. It's got some dark themes, as they all do. This one has got content warnings for child abuse and gaslighting. But it just didn't feel very coherent to me. It felt sort of almost like a series of short stories all put together. It just wasn't my favourite one. I did like the Easter eggs for some of the other stories. Some of them were very subtle Easter eggs, and others like literally like a turn of phrase. And others were more obvious, but I enjoyed those. But yeah, it just kind of feels like a stepping stone to the next book, to be honest. So yeah, it wasn't my favourite one, but I did enjoy the narrator. She did an amazing job. And I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. So, plan for the rest of this month, almost. Tomorrow I'm going to go and see Steph for 3 days. I'm so excited. I haven't seen her since last October. I will probably cry when I do see her. We're going to spend 3 days together. Saturday, Sunday, just chilling, messing around, watching Halloween films and, you know, practical magic and stuff like that. We're also going to watch the Matilda film, which we're very excited about. And which will definitely involve us singing along obnoxiously loud and eating lots of food and having a few drinks and all that kind of stuff. And then Monday she's working from home, so I've got a massive bag of marking. I've got 4 sets of assessments to mark this half term, so we'll take my marking bag and see what I can get done there. And then Tuesday I'm going across to Tetbury because Gary booked 4 days away for us for my birthday, so we're there till Friday. And then on the Saturday we're getting together for my mum's birthday, which is going to be really, really lovely. And then Sunday it'll be chores and stuff and panicking about going back to work probably. So I will update you along the way, but that is what I'm going to be up to in the next week, and I'm so excited about it. For right now, I need to go and get my house in order. I need to pack 2 bags, one for Steph's and one for the Cotswolds, and I need to put collars on my cats, which is going to annoy all of them because Nanny is coming to cat sit and she needs to know, she can't tell them apart very easily, so she needs to know who's wearing which collar. They haven't had collars on since the flea infestation, but that's all now passed and gone, so they can have collars on again. So I need to pin everybody down and put collars on them tonight. And then get up nice and early tomorrow, drive 4 hours, see my bestie. It's the 24th of October, and as you've seen from the B-roll, I have been completely spoilt over the last 72 hours. I've had such a nice time with Steph and John and Jube. We've just chilled. Like, we've barely left the house. We've like eaten lots of lovely things that you've seen. We went to get donuts from Planet Donut, which are amazing, by the way. Highly recommend if you're ever in Shrewsbury. I think they have like other shops as well, but that's the only one that I've seen so far. I'm trying to find somewhere to lean. Yeah, Steph cooked us a roast on Sunday, which was incredible. We've watched films, we've watched Hocus Pocus and Practical Magic and Lake Mungo. Steph always likes to make me watch films that are going to freak me out, which it did. And then last night we watched Nope, which was really good, by Jordan Peele. Yeah, and we've just talked nonsense and read books. And yesterday Steph was working from home, so I got half of my marking done, which is great. I got all 61 Year 7 assessments marked and done, which is great. So now I've only got 10 and 11 to go. And yeah, it's just like, I feel like, it's such a cliche, isn't it? But I feel like my cup has been refilled. And yeah, it's just been a really good couple of days. Steph and John are now going to work, and I'm leaving in about half an hour. I'm not sure what the time is, but I need to be out of here in about half an hour, I think. So I just thought I'd film this really quick, because then I'm going to get on the road and go to the Cotswolds and meet my husband. Like, what a week. Yeah, it's been a really good week. So, books. I've had 2 DNFs since I spoke to you last. This seems to be the month for DNFing. Don't know what's going on. I think this is like these 2 are the 2nd and 3rd, or 3rd and 4th DNFs of the month. I think it's the 3rd and 4th, actually. So the first one, I'll put a picture here because I don't have it with me, is Robin Hood. And I can't remember the name of the author, but it'll be on the screen. And I feel really bad about this because it was a beautiful edition that the lovely Rhiannon from Welsh Reader got me for my birthday. But it had been my school reading book, and I was just bored senseless. And I thought maybe it's because I was reading it at school in like little chunks of like 2 or 3 pages at a time, which is always a really irritating way of reading a book. But then I brought it home from school on the Friday and tried to read a whole chunk of it, and I just couldn't get into it. It is a classic. It's a collection of short stories, so rather than one long cohesive story, it's just like these bits of the Robin Hood legend, and I just couldn't get into it, so I've DNF'd it. It's very pretty, so I'll be sad to see it go. And I'm sorry, Rhiannon, if you're watching. But it just wasn't for me. And then the other DNF I had happened whilst I was here, and that was The Changing Man by Tommy Oy-McKindy, which you saw me haul because Charlotte sent this to me this month. And I got halfway through this and I was bored. And I texted Charlotte and I was like, I'm halfway through and I'm bored, is it worth finishing? And she was like, no, I got more bored in the second half. So I DNF this one. We're following a girl called something, Aoife, who goes to this very prestigious school, and weird things start happening, and there's this legend of the Changing Man. But I got, like I said, halfway through and it still wasn't clear what the legend was or what was believed. It should have been like fast paced because there were a few weird things happening, but I just didn't care, and all of the characters were irritating me. So this follows a very similar plot to another YA book set in a school, but I don't want to say which one because I don't want to give spoilers, but I feel like that book did it better. I feel like if you've read the other book, you probably know which one I'm talking about. But yeah, this was a DNF for me because I just could not get into it. And then I finally had a 5-star read. First one of the month. And that was Sundial by Catriona Ward. I loved this. This is weird. It's dark. It's emotional. I feel like it's going to haunt me. And that's why I gave it 5 stars. I've seen really mixed reviews for this, so I went in with very, very low expectations because I've seen people give this 3 stars. I've seen people DNF this. I love this. This just really worked for me. So we're following a mother and daughter. We're following Rob, and her oldest daughter, Callie, is displaying some worrying tendencies, let's put it that way. So Rob takes Callie away from the family home. She's also got a husband and a younger daughter, and she takes her out to Sundial, which is Rob's family home. And that's all I'm gonna tell you, basically. And Sundial is out in the desert, and it switches between Rob and Callie in the present day and Rob when she was growing up at Sundial and the things that went on there. And this was such a ride. It's slow and it's weird and it's dark, and I just really liked it. Massive content warnings for spousal abuse, for gaslighting, for the torture of animals, for child abuse, for medical experiments, for murder, for wound descriptions, for suicide ideation, for miscarriage. There's this is very, very dark, and if any of those things are triggers for you, don't pick this up, because it goes into a lot of detail on all of those things. But like I said, it says on the front, you can't escape the desert, you can't escape Sundial. And I think for me, as well as all of those dark elements, it's also about family and the ties that bind and the secrets we keep from each other, and it's about sisters, and it's about love and family, and it's about survival. And I just thought it was fantastic. Like, I barely breathed reading this book. I also read it, I mean, my Goodreads will tell you it took me about 10 days to read, but it really didn't. I read it really in 2 sittings. I thought this was fantastic. I really liked The Last House on Needless Street, as much as you can like a book as weird and dark as that, but this was far, far better. The writing I thought was far better in this one. And yeah, my finally a 5-star read, so that was good. So I'm going to stop waffling, get off Steph's kitchen floor, living room floor. You can see her little witch decoration here. It's so cute. I've got hiccups. Finish my packing, pack my car up, fill my car up with all my stuff, and then going to meet the husband in the Cotswolds. It is the 27th of October and we are home. I've got Sav literally just here. She's currently trying to knock over my pile of books. So you might, there goes the tail. So she might interrupt us. But yeah, oh hi, do you have something to say? Yeah. Is it International Black Cat Day today? Hey, it is. Yeah, you've been very well looked after by Nanny and Grandad whilst we've been gone. Hey. Pretty girl, pretty noisy girl. Yeah, we have had, oh, you're getting down now. Okay, bye. We have had just the dreamiest 3 or 4 days in the Lake District. My hair, as always, I should probably have brushed it before I sat down. The dreamiest time in the Cotswolds, not the Lake District, the Cotswolds. We were just outside Tetbury. We stayed there before. I will try and find the link. I think we stayed there in March 2021, I want to say, March, April time. I think I booked it for Gary's birthday that year, and we stayed there for, I think I already said this in this vlog, but he bought it for me, or booked it for me, for us, for my birthday, and it was just a perfect way to spend this time. We're both exhausted, we're both kind of dealing with like big life stuff, so we had some big conversations this week. Like, nothing's wrong, but there are like changes coming, and yeah, it was just a very necessary few days. We had such a nice time. We had a couple of really, really good meals at a pub, the name of which I can't remember, but I will leave it in the description because we went there 2 days in a row. It was so good. The house we stayed in, the Airbnb, was beautiful. The weather was perfect. I had a little mooch in a bookshop. I didn't buy anything, but it was nice to have a little mooch. And yeah, we've just kind of slept and eaten and potted about and just recharged. And we're going to need it because the next 2 months in the run up to Christmas is going to be really busy and intense. It's obviously always intense for me at work. He's got some intense work stuff coming up. Charlie's turning 14. And then we've got the usual Christmas pandemonium. So yeah, it felt like a really nice pause before all the chaos of that. So yeah, we got back this morning or this afternoon, and have spent some time sorting the house out and unpacking, doing a little bit of a clean, and obviously seeing the cats and all that stuff. I have got 2 books I finished, and then 5 books that have arrived whilst I was away, although only 1 actually adds to my TBR. And so I'll tell you about those, and then the rest of today I'm going to pack orders for the shop because I opened that again on Wednesday, and lots of lovely people, thank you so much if you're one of them, have ordered some bookmarks. I've got bookmarks going to Australia, which is very exciting, more to America, to Europe, and then also to the UK as well. So I'm going to pack those up and get them ready. I've got a ton of laundry to do as usual, and then I was going to like get all my chores done, but I'm actually just feeling really tired, so I'm going to do my nails and do some skincare and have a bath and relax, and we're going to get takeaway tonight. And then tomorrow we are picking Grandma up, and we're then going across to Stonehenge and meeting my mum and my brother because my mum's birthday on Sunday, and Stonehenge is sort of in the middle. So we'll have a lovely family meal, and a few chores probably in the afternoon, and then Sunday I need to finish my marking and any chores that have been left undone, and then it's back to work on Monday. So yeah, that's everything that's kind of happened and is happening. I'm feeling a little bit anxious today. I think it's the back to work nerves. It's always worse than when I actually do go back to work, and that's super annoying, but it is what it is. So I'm just doing my usual and putting those kind of that kind of nervy energy into something positive, like packing orders for the shop, etc. So let's talk books. Before we do that, came home to this really awesome postcard, which is from Amy at I nearly said Pretty Purple Polka Dots. No, at Non-Fiction Feminist and Amy Myers. She kind of uses both handles. She went to Salem, and I'll put her vlog in the description below because I really enjoyed it a few weeks ago with some friend of hers, and she said, greetings from Montana. I didn't have a chance to send this off from Salem. I highly recommend a visit. It was a wonderful place for a girls trip, and it's just so fun, and I love that she sends me postcards when she's traveling around. So yeah, that was really fun to come home to. And then books that I have finished. So the first book I finished was How to Kill Men and Get Away with It by Katie Brent. Chloe and I buddy read this over the last 5 days. I think I deserve a gold medal for not just reading it all in one go. I did like limit myself to the buddy read chunks. I always enjoy reading with Chloe, especially if we're reading like a mystery thriller book, because it's fun to like bounce ideas off each other and theories. And I had a really strong theory from the start, which proved to be wrong. She turned out to be right. And it was just kind of fun to navigate this together. So we're following Kitty, who is an influencer. She's a very wealthy young woman living in, I think, Chelsea in London. Posh bit of Chelsea anyway, maybe Knightsbridge. And she's got the perfect life. But she also has this habit of killing men. And we are following her. I gave this 3.5 stars. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed buddy reading it. Like I said, I think it's a really good book to buddy read and kind of discuss as you go. It's a debut, and it felt like it, and I think that's why I got 3.5 stars from me. I think it didn't really know if it wanted to be a serial killer book or a social justice book, because there are both things in this. I'll do content warnings in a minute. And it just seemed a little bit of a meander through both, but it didn't really do either properly. I also think parts of this were tell rather than show. Not my favourite style of writing. And the ending was really rushed. I liked the very end because it kind of opens up possibilities, but like the last 50 pages, the chunk I read this morning, the whole thing just felt really rushed. So yeah, I gave it 3.5 stars. It's fun, it's very dark, content warnings for murder, wound description, dismemberment, but also for rape, sexual assault, child abuse, domestic violence, self-harm, eating disorders, drug and alcohol misuse, all of those things. So just be aware of that going in. I think this cover's really fun. I definitely enjoyed it. I would definitely read more from the author. I will keep an eye out for what she comes out with next. but it didn't blow my socks off. So there was that one. And then on my way home, I finished the audiobook for Sleeping Murder by Agatha Christie. This is a Miss Marple book. I am confused as to the order of Miss Marple's, because in some places this is book 5, I think, 5 or 6. It comes after The Moving Finger. But also on GoodReads, this is the final Miss Marple. So I don't know, but this is the next one that I read. This was gifted to me, actually. Let me just double check who this was, because I remember it being somebody really lovely. Yeah, Emily. Emily at Emily Kathleen Reads. She sent it to me as my birthday present this year. I loved this. I gave this 5 stars. Let's just say that first. I thought this was fantastic. I have only ever given and then there were none 5 stars, I think, by Agatha Christie. This is the first Marple I'm pretty sure I've given 5 stars to. I just really, really enjoyed this. We're following a young woman called Gwenda, who is moved from Australia. Her husband has stayed behind in Australia for a few months to finish up some business stuff. She comes over first in order to find them a house. She finds them a house and she moves in. And that is all I'm going to say, because it's about secrets and lies, it's about the house itself, it's about family, and she gradually uncovers what's going on. And I just thought this was fantastic. I was really hooked. Usually, for me, a sign that I'm really enjoying a book on audio is that I listen to it when I'm at home. If I'm not that fussed about an audiobook, I only listen to it in my car. But I was listening to this at every possible opportunity. I listened to it on Scribed. They seem to be all of the Miss Marples on there, although they occasionally come and go. I really like this. I clocked the murderer about halfway through, but because of the way this is woven together and because of how much Miss Marple there was, I didn't mind that. I find with some Miss Marples that sometimes she's such a side character, she's like right on the periphery, or she just comes in at the end and solves the murder. In this one, she's there all the way through, like she's fully woven in. She also does something in this book that literally made me cheer, want to cheer and like punch the air. I didn't because I was driving. But I just really loved her character in this. We get to see her a lot more. And I thought the mystery was really well put together. I literally couldn't find a flaw in it, so I gave it 5 stars, and it might be my favourite read of the month. Which is a bit of a plot twist, because for me, like, Agatha Christie's are usually like 3.5, 4 stars. I enjoy them, I'm interested by them. I kind of want to read them so that I've read them, and so that I know the answers to the mysteries. But this one I genuinely just thoroughly enjoyed. So thank you so much, Emily. That was a 5-star read, and a surprise 5-star read, which is actually my favourite kind. Okay, then I came home to Bookmail, all of which I'd bought, which is quite unusual for me. I haven't bought books in a while. I have just put together my November and December TBRs, and then my November TBR has already gone downstairs because it's the start of a new month next week. And then I cleaned my TBR shelf and put my December TBR together, and then once I'd rejigged everything, my like unscheduled TBR, like the TBR that I don't have a month for yet, fits onto one single shelf, and I don't know why that feels like an achievement, but it does. And then at the same time I was like, might be time to go book shopping. Anyway, oh, now I've got hiccups. The first book that had arrived that I pre-ordered, all of these, I'm going to say both because there were 2 parcels, you'll see what I mean in a minute. Both of these were pre-orders. This is the only one that goes onto my TBR, and it will be a December read, and that is because it is The Christmas Appeal by Janice Hallett. I'm very excited for this. I adored The Appeal by Janice Hallett. I did not like The Twyford Code, we don't talk about that one, and I enjoyed The Appleton Angels, so I'm interested to see what she does with a Christmas book. Oh, I've just spotted the end pages. So it says on the front, a Christmas panto, a dead Santa, and everyone's a suspect. Obviously, as you can see, it's super short. I am not going to read the synopsis. I don't want to know. Look at these end pages. Oh, this so puts me in the mood, and I love this red and... Oh, it's red and green. Nice touch, Wollstone. Yeah, I am not going to read the synopsis or anything like that. I don't want to know. It's Janice Hallett. How long is it? Like 200 pages, maybe? Yeah. 190 pages, so at some point in December, and it's all mixed media, at some point in December I will settle down with this and a glass of something nice, and I will enjoy reading it. And it's dedicated for the ghost of Christmas past. So yeah, I'm very excited for this. I kind of want to read it now, but I know it will be more effective in front of the Christmas tree come December. So there was that one. And then I did a very big treat yourself, because I bought these. I mean, yeah. So I talked about this in the end of the year book tag. about how I saw Cat Bruising reviews talk about these on Twitter, and within about 2 minutes of seeing that tweet, I had pre-ordered 60 quid's worth of hardback book from Waterstones. I would say these came really, really well packaged. I've had a couple of pre-orders from Waterstones this year that have been damaged when they arrived, but these are absolutely in mint condition, so that was pleasing. And these don't add to my TBR because I've read all 4 of these books, but I now really want to do a reread. I'm currently reading The Hunger Games with my tutor group here in Year 9. That's their class book at the moment, our tutor group book, which will probably take us until about Easter to read at the pace that we're going. I just wanted these. And I bought them. So let's look at these together, because obviously I've opened them, but I haven't actually taken them out of the slipcase yet. So let's have a look at these together, going in order. Wow. So that's Hunger Games. It's so beautiful. It says on the back, winning will make you famous, losing means certain death. So let's see. Do we have pretty end pages? No, just more of the blue. So that's, oh, we got, oh, okay, I thought they were illustrations, but each chapter's got like plants. Okay, these are very pretty. I love that they are naked hardbacks. I love a naked hardback. I don't know if I will ever actually read these editions, or if they will just be beautiful on my shelf forever. A little bit of plastic on that one. This is Catching Fire. This might be my favourite one. So pretty. I feel like lots of other people were better at this than me. And it says Katniss. Oh, this is going to be spoilers. So if you don't want any spoilers for the Hunger Games, I would suggest you like click onto the next clip, because there's going to be spoilers on the back of these. That's your warning. On the back of this it says Katniss Everdeen survived the Hunger Games. Now the capital wants revenge. And Catching Fire has always been my favourite one of the original trilogy. Then we have Mockingjay, which is this beautiful like grey purple colour. On the back it says, if we burn, you burn with us. And then finally we have the Ballad of Songbird and Snakes, which you guys know I read earlier this year. I didn't love it, but that is really pretty. I mean, look at that. That's the spine, and then that's the back. And it says, ambition will fuel him, competition will drive him, but power has its price. A tiny dent on that one. But yeah, I'm so happy with these. This was money well spent, I feel, for my actual book collection. So yeah, I need to go and find a space for these on my shelf. But I'm so happy with those. So yeah, that's all the bookish updates. So I'm going to go and put a face mask on and pack some orders, and then do my nails and have a bath and just try and relax a bit. I feel a bit spangly today is how I described it to go. And I've still got 2 days of holiday left before I have to go back to the madness. So yeah, that's it for now. I've been talking for 15 minutes. So I should really stop procrastinating and go and get on with it. And those are most of the books that I read in the month of October. It's now the start of November, and I'm coming in as usual to wrap up the wrap up. If you have been watching live shows and stuff, you will know that it is the 4th of November, because I'm about to go live with Charlotte in my sparkly jumper to do a live show and play some games and do some reading and have some fun. But yeah, I needed to finish off this vlog and get it edited and uploaded for tomorrow, so that you guys are hopefully seeing this on Sunday morning. So I've got 4 more books to talk about. I'm going to show you a Christmas delivery that I've had. I know it's a bit early, but there we go. And then I'm going to do stats and finish off this video. So if you've watched my content before, you'll know that I love an advent calendar. I'm a massive child. I just love having a little something every day to open and get excited about. The last couple of years I've had Body Shop ones and other like skincare ones. And this year I wanted to do something edible. So I asked on Instagram what you guys suggested, and a few of you suggested the Bon Mama one. I'm probably saying that totally wrong, and I went for it. It was on sale on Amazon for a couple of days. Is it not the cutest thing? I've not like taken it out of the packaging. I won't open it properly obviously until December, but it just has tiny jams in it. There's I think 17 jams and spreads and 6 herbal teas. I don't really drink herbal tea, but there's a couple I might give a go, and then I will find good homes for the others. But yeah, I just thought this was really cute and fun and something a bit different to what I would usually do, so I went for that one. And as I asked on Instagram, I thought I would show you so you guys could see that what I eventually ended up going for. Right, let's finish off these books. I had another DNF, 5 DNFs this month. That is outrageous, although I'm not anti-DNF, as you know. I just think life is too short for a book that you're not enjoying. And this first one, I'm really surprised that I've DNF'd it, because I gave the first book a 5-star and I got 250 pages into this book, like nearly halfway. I was just so bored and nothing had happened. So I DNF'd it, and that book was The Boy on the Bridge by M.R. Carey. I love The Girl with All the Gifts. I think it's one of the best written books I've possibly ever read. And this is the second book, but it's a prequel. But I was just absolutely bored, senseless, and nothing was happening. So yeah, I think I got, like I said, about 200 pages in, and I just wasn't feeling it. So I DNF'd that one, so that one's gone. And then thankfully, I had 3 5-star reads to finish the month. Having not had a 5-star all month, I was starting to get a bit like, what's wrong? What's going on? All these DNFs, but no books that I love. And then I had 3 in a row. So the first one was One for Sorrow by Helen Fields. I think it was, let me check who it was. Yeah, it was Laura. Laura gifted me this. At the start of the school year. This is I think, the final Luke Kalanick book by Helen Fields. I loved this. I thought this was completely incredible. I think it's book 7 or 8 in the series. A couple of things that bugged me about it, right? I still gave it 5 stars. Firstly, all of the other books in the series are called Perfect something. So like the first one is Perfect Remains, and then we had Perfect Prey, etc., etc. Why didn't they just call this Perfect Sorrow? Why are we changing the formula for the last book? That was my first thing. And secondly, as you can see from the back where they've got some pictures of the other covers, completely different covers. Why are we doing that? Do not enjoy. However, all of that aside, I loved this book. So obviously it's the last book in a series, so I can't say too much about what happens, but it's a police procedural set in Edinburgh. They are super, super dark. Luke Kalanick and Ava something, I can't remember what, Ava Turner, are 2 police inspectors. She's a DCI, he's a DI. And in each book they are trying to track down a serial killer. And in this one we've got someone who is setting off explosives in a, well, obviously all explosives are shocking and upsetting, but in quite a shocking way. What I would say is these books are super dark. This one's got particular content warnings for torture, coercive control, stalking, murder, very detailed wound descriptions, grief. It opens with a funeral. And I gave this 5 stars. This is a thriller, police procedural. I don't often give them 5 stars anymore, but this one got me in the feels. Like, I cried 3 times reading this book. I cried for characters that I've come to love. I cried for things that were happening in this story, and the end, I'm still not okay. So when a book gives me that emotional response, it has to be 5 stars. Is it the best thing ever written? Possibly not. If I was being really critical, is it maybe more of a 4-star? Probably. However, for the emotional response that it elicited in me, and the fact that I've read, like I said, I can't remember if it's 6 or 7 books, or maybe more. I don't really read series, and I have gone back to these books time and time again. So I am really sad this is over, but I absolutely loved it and I gave it 5 stars. Then I read an audiobook, a really short story on Halloween, which was recommended to me by Steph. I've obviously got it written down here on my bit of paper, but I'll put a picture here, which was recommended to me by Steph when I went to see her, went and stayed with her, which was just the nicest thing, which was The Signalman by Charles Dickens. I listened to the Doug Bradley version on Scribd. Scribd has now got a new name, but I can't remember what it is, but I'll put that in the description. But yeah, I listened to it on there, and I would really recommend that version because it had like sound effects and all kinds of things. It is super short. The story itself is like 70 pages. I think the audiobook was like half an hour long. It took me a commute home to read. And I gave it 5 stars. It was so creepy. Like, I don't really want to tell you anything about it. It's a man that gets on a train, and it goes from there. I'm not a huge Dickens fan. I do love A Christmas Carol. Some of his other work I'm not a massive fan of, but this was, I think maybe because it was so short, it was so creepy and tense, and I was reading it driving home in the dark, and I was like, what am I doing to myself? But I really thoroughly enjoyed it. So if you're looking for a short creepy story, it's one that I'm still thinking about now. I would recommend that one. So yeah, I gave that 5 stars. And then my final read for the month was a gift from the lovely Mary from Mary Among Stories. She gifted this to me for my birthday, and as soon as I opened it on my birthday, I was like, this is going to be my Halloween read. And I did read this in one go on Halloween. And that was Garlic and the Vampire by Brie Paulson. I loved this. I've seen a couple of people talk about this recently. I think Leanne from Literary Divergence was talking about it, and someone else, but I can't remember who else it was. But it's a graphic novel. As you can see, it's really short. It's about 130 pages. And like, this is the art style, okay, and we're following Garlic, who is this little garlic bulb who lives in a witch's garden and helps grow her vegetables, and a vampire moves in to the castle, and so Garlic goes to see what's going on, and I just loved it. It was so cute and cozy, and Garlic is an anxious bulb, and I love the friendships in it, and we've got a little bit of like strife with one of the other vegetables, and I really liked how that was handled, and it was like funny and heartwarming, and I just really loved it. And now I want to read the second one, which I think is Garlic and the Witch, possibly. But yeah, I loved this, and this was the perfect like Halloweeny read. And one thing I really like as well, I won't show you too much because I don't want to like give spoilers, but at the start of each chapter you've got this garlic bulb that's gradually growing, and I just really loved the kind of metaphor for that. Like, that's chapter 2, and I just loved that way that was done, and yeah, I just thought it was fab. So that was another 5-star from me. So we finished on a very positive note, but let's do some stats. So I read 14 books in October, which is pretty good going. I read 4,089 pages, which is 132 a day, which is a little bit low. I try and aim for about 150 a day, but because I'm still riding the wave of the head start I gave myself in August, we're still doing fine in terms of goals and stuff. Average star rating was 3.96, not the best month, not the worst either. It was very much in the middle. My favourite read of the month, I cannot believe that this is, I knew I was going to enjoy this book, but I didn't expect it to be my favourite read of the month. But I've had to go with One for Sorrow by Helen Fields because of that emotional reaction that I had to it. It just blew me away. I would really recommend this series in general if you can handle dark subject matter. But this last one just absolutely blew my socks off. So yeah, thank you very much, Laura. It turned out to be my favourite read of the month. So thank you for that. Most disappointing was I'm Thinking of Ending Things. I thought it was going to be a 5-star. I gave it a 2. I was really bored. I don't know what book I read compared to what everybody else has read, because I've heard, since I read it, I've heard more rave reviews of it. Maybe I just didn't get it. But anyway, it was definitely my most disappointing read of the month. My TBR stands at 36, which is great. So that's come down because last month I was on 49. And then let's do balancing the books. So I had 11 read. So I had 3 audiobooks that weren't on my physical TBR. So whilst I enjoyed them, they don't count for balancing the books. Plus 5 DNFs. So I had 16 books come off my shelves. Then I had 7 books come in from you lovely lot, which means I had 9 books more read or off my shelves than I had in. So finally, for the first time in a couple of months, I'm actually in the green. And then year to date, that means I've now read 2 more books than I've hauled all year. So if I can hold on to that lead for the rest of the year, we'll be in good shape by the time we get into January. So as usual, I've got cat hair somewhere. This month has been a mixture. It's been a good month. I'm going to call it a good month. Obviously, I had a lovely holiday in the middle of it. I have been poorly at the start. As you can hear, I'm still a little bit chesty. I just can't seem to get rid of this cough at the moment, which is super annoying. This week has been very intense with the kids, with the weather as it was. They had to have like indoor break and lunch, and that just sends everybody loopy. So yeah, it's been quite hard work this week. But I think overall, I think it was a positive month, better than September. And I'm excited now for November and December because we have Charlie's 14th birthday coming up. We have then obviously all the start of Christmas, which I get very excited about, and a few other things kind of mixed in there. A few life changes and things that I'll talk about probably next month once I've got a few more like pieces in place. But it's all good. It's all good things. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So if you made it to this point in the video, can you leave me either a feather emoji if there is one, or some kind of bird for this cover, because Helen Fields in a lot of these books, like birds are a bit of a motif. So yeah, either a feather emoji or a bird, just so I know you made it to the end. Please subscribe if you would like more of this chaos, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks everyone. Bye.